When my stepson lived with us, he got up about 15 years old and he discovered girls. He was the poorest one about picking out a girlfriend I believe I ever seen in my life. He he used to run around and see if he couldn't find a pregnant girl to take up with. One that wasn't pregnant with a baby that belonged to him, belonged to somebody else. Lord have mercy, some of the girls that he'd take up with. Well, he brought this one in one day, and she'd had a baby, and she was single. She hadn't married the daddy of it. You know, one of them Jerry Springer story things, I guess. Anyway, he brings this girl in, and he told me about her that she had a little boy, and she lived with her mama, and she was still in school. She was in his class in school, and he was wanting to take up with her. So he brought her in. Now, he should have known better than to bring her around me because it wasn't his first day there in the house. You know, he'd been around for a little while. And he knew that I was wanting to speak my mind. Well, he brought her in. She sat down at the table, you know, and I was polite. Well, she just kind of sit there and didn't really want to strike up much of a conversation with me. Well, that was not going to work. So I started talking to her, and I said, "So you go to school with him, huh?" And she, "Yeah, I do." And I said, "What all kinds of things are you interested in?" "Well, I don't know." I said, "Well, you must know what you're interested in. You don't need to be shy around me." She kind of hummed and hawed, and I said, "Well, okay, I'll just ask some questions till we figure it out." And of course, you know, he could have just crawled right under the carpet. me gonna ask that girl some questions. So I started in. I said, "Well, do you like to cook?" "Well, no." I said, "Well, you get up on Saturday mornings, clean your mama's house for, you know, that's your day off from school. You get up and bright and early and polish everything up good." "Well, no, I I sleep in on Saturday." I said, "Well, okay, so you're not much for cleaning or cooking. You like to sew. Do you make a lot of your own clothes, make clothes for the baby and stuff?" "No, I don't know how to sew," she says. I said, "Well, what do you do? Other needlework? You crochet, you knit, you weave, you spin on a spinning wheel. What kind of crafts do you do?" "Well, I don't do any crafts." I said, "Well, okay, so we ruled that one out. You like horticulture? Do you raise a garden? You know, put canned food up for the winter for the family?" "No, I don't know how to do that," she says. I said, "Well, okay, maybe it's animal husbandry that you're interested in. Do you raise critters? You got some rabbits and chickens and stuff like that out in the shed there in the backyard that you raise some meat. You go out and butcher them and put them in the freezer." And oh, you would have thought that I'd ask her to cut her arm off. She, "Lord, no, I don't do nothing like that," she says. So I looked at him. There he stood, about 6'6", you know, and like a solid tree trunk. And I said, "Have you taken a good look at him?" And her eyes got about as big as her whole face. And she said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, it should be pretty obvious. He likes to eat. He can put away the groceries like you never seen in your life. He'll clean out a freezer in a week." I said, "Any girl that he takes up with better know how to feed him and cook, and she better know how to go out and butcher some rabbits and some chickens and cook them up and put them on the table to feed him. She better know how to raise a garden, be able to get some tomatoes and potatoes and some cabbage and cook all that up, make a good stew, because he'll put the groceries away. And if you don't know how to feed him, you better know how to work and get a good job to be able to bring some money in to put some groceries on the table. And you with that baby to raise, I don't know how you're going to hold down a job and be able to go out and work and take care of that baby all at the same time." And she just looked at me like I was speaking some kind of a foreign language. And I said, you better know how to sew, because he's hard on clothes. I put on buttons every day of the week on his clothes because he's always ripping them out. He wears the elbows and the knees out, and his shirts and his breeches. And you better know how to patch stuff, because you're going to be having to patch clothes for him. He's hard on things. And she just looked at me like, I just want to get out of here. I just want out of this house. And so I said to him, I said, well, you know, maybe you two need to go on and do whatever it is you're going to do this evening. Well, he took her home. He come back in a little while. He said to me, I didn't think she's like that. I said, like what? And he said, well, she don't know how to do nothing. I said, listen, I know you think I was pretty rough on that girl, sitting here talking to her like that, but you need to stop and think, you know, when you're dating somebody, that's the next thing to marrying one. And you might not be serious about wanting to marry that girl, but I got news for you. She's a lot of baggage. She's got that baby, and here you are, 15 years old. You ain't ready to be no daddy to nobody, and she don't know how to do nothing. She can't cook. She can't clean. She don't know how to raise animals. She don't know how to raise a garden. She can't sew. She don't know how to do nothing. When you're picking out a girl, you better be able to pick you out one that knows how to do something. And you better be ready to take on the responsibility of whatever baggage that she's got going on. I said, now, I know you think I was rough on you, but I wasn't rough. I could have been a lot rougher. But I'm trying to explain to you young people that you need to know what you're doing, and you don't know what you're doing. You don't stop and think. And I've seen an awful lot of young people throughout my lifetime that I don't think anybody has ever stopped and explained things to them like that. And it needs to be done. If you have young people in your life, you need to start explaining things to them. If it's a child or a grandchild, you need to let them know that they need to know how to do things, and they need to be around people that knows how to do things, because those values and those skills are going to be indispensable in the coming years. Things are getting rough, and people need to know how to do stuff. We don't need a bunch of dredges on society running around anymore. And whatever little bit you can do to help promote people learning skills, teach them a little something, or show them where to learn a little something, or explain to them that they need to know a little something, you need to be doing it. And let's get our people educated on what's going on. But that's the girlfriend story for you. I hope you learned something today.